Fact is, though, that for starters, they did not have a competent campaign plan. They attacked in 5 or 6 different locations. Their logistics proved absolutely abysmal. The level of training of their soldiers and their junior leaders is clearly inadequate. Their communication systems have broken down, so general officers have to go up to the front, get out of their vehicles to find out what's going on, and they get shot by snipers. Just the sheer readiness of the force has proved to be very substandard. It's not obvious to me what they were doing during those months of maneuvers in Russia and in Belarus on Ukraine's border. Remember, they were out there for many, many months, supposedly training. Just across the board, they have underachieved in virtually every conceivable area, with the possible exception of just the ability to carry out destructive, often indiscriminate attacks by missiles, rockets, bombs, and artillery and mortars. Remember that we heard a great deal about the modernization of the Russian military. A lot was made of their advanced weaponry. It was put on display every year in the annual Victory Day celebration for World War II. And yet what it appears is that a lot of this was just, in a sense, Potemkin capabilities. They sort of look good from a distance. They have a bit of each of these, but they don't have them deployed throughout their forces. So the very sophisticated command control communication systems about which we had been told previously, it turns out, are not deployed with their forces. They're using, in fact, single channel, open, non-secure HF radio communications, which any Ukrainian citizen who has a police scanner can locate, can record and upload, especially when they're criticizing their commanding officers, which is a preoccupation of many of the Russian soldiers, it appears, and perhaps with good reason. And then, of course, they just jam it. And so that's why, again, the Russian leaders have to keep coming up to the front, exposing themselves and getting taken out by Ukrainian snipers. I think it is a legitimate concern. Again, I tend to think, and I think the general consensus is that it is unlikely that he will use nuclear or chemical weapons, for that matter, because crossing those thresholds would be so significant. Yes, the West has taken enormous steps to sanction the Russian economy, the financial system, Putin's inner circle, and then the business community writ large has taken enormous actions. You know, over 750 companies have either stopped what they're doing in Russia or reduced their activities there. Some of them are not going back. So all of this has done enormous damage to Russia. And of course, Putin has to be keenly aware that way over 300,000 of his own citizens, some of the best and brightest of Russia, have just finally left the country. They just cannot abide living in a country that has become the international pariah. What is happening, and this is pretty publicly known, is that everyone is trying to figure out through intelligence sources and methods, what are the Russians likely to do? And then obviously to anticipate that and to have responses ready should this action or that action or all of the above. And again, that is also clearly recognized by those who are in leadership positions in the Ukrainian military as well. Most important, frankly, is the leadership that President Zelensky of Ukraine will provide in this regard. If he is willing to negotiate, because again, after all, it is his country that is bearing the destructive power of Russia. Yes, they may be holding them off on the front lines, but every single day